COVID-19 action plan will provide sanitizers and masks free to underprivileged and vulnerable communities. Let's speak now to community safety activist Yusuf Abramji, joining us via Skype this evening. Yusuf, good evening. And yes, we're all here to taking our precautions here at ENCA, which is why you are on Skype and not coming into studio. So tell us more about the COVID-19 action group. What exactly will it be doing?
Good evening, Yuveka. Well, we decided as a community to mobilize. The government says everyone has to become a soldier. I had lengthy discussions with the Premier of Gauteng, David Makura, and we agree that as Gautengers specifically, we need to become active citizens. Operation SA, which is a non-profit organization, together with the newly formed COVID-19 Action Committee or group, which consists of doctors, members of civil society, business leaders, and Laudium Disaster Management, decided to have an immediate and urgent plan of action. So we're mobilizing, we are raising funds. We've already collected over 100,000 Rand in the first few hours. And we're going out from this weekend, not only to create education and awareness, and especially the informal settlements, but across the province, where we'll be giving out hand sanitizers, we'll be giving out leaflets with valuable information for communities. We'll be giving out thousands and thousands of bars of soap, and also, where necessary, giving out masks to people that are vulnerable or people that might even have contracted the disease. We have volunteers that will be trained by medical doctors over the next few hours. And we believe it's important for us as a community not to create fear, not to create panic, but to mobilize and to help communities and to teach them about personal hygiene. And it begins with the basic stuff, Yuveka, of washing your hands, using sanitizers, using soap baths, etc.
So, Yusuf, I suppose the questions around this would be, how are you going to do this? Are you going to call people in small groups? Because we now have issues with the number of people that are supposed to be in one place at any given time. Are you going to ask people to gather at a certain place? How are you going to control that and follow the rules at the moment?
No, our volunteers will go from area to area in groups of not more than 2. They will then give out the sanitizers, the bar soaps, and again, we'll be targeting public places like taxi ranks, bus stations, etc. We are not going to go to have mass gatherings, and we know that the rules have been set down. We don't want to make people also cause more fear and panic. We know panic buying is a problem. We need to calm our communities, but at the same time, Yuveka, we want to equip them and teach them about personal hygiene. And I think awareness is critical to what we're going to be doing. So as part of the civil society movement, we're going to go around to various parts of Gauteng, and we're calling on the business community to support us and to join hands with us, because I think we have a pivotal role to play to make sure that the numbers are kept very, very low.
And what about the risk to these volunteers, Yusuf? I mean, coming into contact with so many people as well, and we just don't know at the moment, who is carrying it, who isn't. And of course, to hand things to people, you are going to probably be breaching that 1 meter, unless you have very long arms, I don't know. But how are they going to manage that?
No, that's why I mentioned, Yuveka, we're having trained health professionals who will be training these volunteers about the precautions they need to personally take. We'll be giving them gloves, we'll be giving them masks to wear, and we will make sure that they need to just give out those leaflets together with their sanitizers and the bars of soap as quickly as they can and move on. And again, I think you're absolutely right. We need to be making sure that these things are taken care of. We're also looking at going to public places like police stations, giving them soaps to distribute to people in need. And as people come into, for example, police stations or other emergency centers, they can simply take these bar soaps and the sanitizers, and we'll be giving them away free of charge.
Well, Yusuf, where are you getting stock? Because, I mean, most South Africans are being met with empty shelves when they go into stores. So where are you getting hand sanitizers and masks and gloves?
Well, we've already approached a number of suppliers. They promise us stock as early as tomorrow. And again, a lot of these suppliers are trying to cash in. We are appealing to them to give it to us at cost price. Some of the companies have even agreed to donate it to us. So over the next few hours, we hopefully will have a few thousand bars of soap and a few thousand bottles of sanitizers to give out, hopefully before the weekend.
All right. So can you give us some idea where you'll be starting your operations and which areas you'll be covering, so people who need it and can't find it will be able to find you then?
Well, I'm happy that we've had calls from across South Africa. We're asking local communities to follow our example and do exactly the same. We'll be starting in some of the hotspots in Pretoria this weekend, some of the taxi ranks, some of the informal settlements, Itarileng outside the Laudium area, Diepsloot out north of Johannesburg. We'll be looking at some of the taxi ranks in the Pretoria CBD, and hopefully our volunteers in the other parts of Gauteng will go out. I know that The Gauteng provincial government, the Premier and I have been talking. We are seeing how we can involve local municipalities or how we can involve the provincial government, because we cannot only depend on government to take the lead. We as civil society, Uveka, have to take the lead, and that is why we're calling on corporates to support us, and the response has been phenomenal.
Yusuf, you mentioned that you've been talking to the Premier, that's David Makura. Now, maybe you can clarify for us, and he's given you some clarity on this about weddings and funerals and notifying police. Can you clarify that for us, please?
Well, there have been a number of media reports, Uveka, that the Premier said you need a permit to have a wedding or a funeral, and reportedly even if it's under 100 people. Well, that has caused a lot of concern and panic, especially from certain sections of the community where the burials have to be within a few hours. I've personally spoken to the Premier, and he says, no, there's been a misunderstanding, and he's issuing a statement. You actually don't need a permit for a wedding or a funeral as long as it's under 100 people. All you have to do is go to your local police station, inform them that you're having a gathering, and so many people will be attending. This will be the address, and you can then go ahead with the gathering. So I think it's important that we also realize that we must keep to the guidelines set down by government of under 100 people. We know funerals take place at very short notice, but again, where possible, keep it to under 100 people, but simply go to your police station and inform them about the event. And already within the past few hours, I've had certain organizations and individuals going to the local police stations, and they simply make a note of that, and it's simple as that. So you don't need any permission. There's no need for the red tape to be involved. The Premier says simply go to your police station and inform them.
All right, great. Thanks very much. Great initiative. Anyone can mobilize people. It is Yusuf Abramji and co. Still